Hello, Baleen. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Hello, Athena and Bob. Well, thank you for saying so, Baleen. I'm glad my streams are useful to you. Hello, Nasser. How are you, Athena? Thank you for that. Good morning. Hello, Pixelion. Good morning. Seems people are taking a little time to show up today. I hope the live stream got published okay. Thank you for sharing, Athena. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Elnaz. Hello, Yuyanga from Mongolia. What are we going to do today? Well, if you have questions you want to ask me about English or anything you want to talk about, we can talk about just about anything. This is an open question live stream where you can ask me any questions about English, or if you want to just chat with me, that's fine. Or if you want to talk about a certain topic, we can do that. Or you can ask me advice about something in your life. Hello, Sana. Good to see you again. Sana wants to talk to me already. Okay. Hello, Sana.
Good.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I'm okay. I'm doing the best I can. Yesterday was a little bit of a rough day. I found out a friend of mine passed away.
Oh, Michael. Okay, that's fine. And I have questions about my language that we are speaking.
Okay.
My first question is if someone knows grammar, all the things of the grammar, but he can't speak, so is it the right thing to or about any language? For example, if I said I know all of the things of Spanish, all the grammars of Spanish, but I can't speak. So is it right to know the only grammatical things and has not ability to speak?
Well, no. Of course not. Grammar is not language. Grammar is the rules of language, and it's talking about language, but it is not language itself. And there are many, many people who learn languages without knowing much grammar or any grammar at all, without having learned any of the rules per se. So it's much like music, where there are lots of people who learn music without ever being taught any of the rules of music.
Okay.
Okay, so, you should focus on an ability to use the language you're learning practically. Think about it like making music. When you learn music, the purpose is to make music. And if you're not making music, then you're not learning music. So if you learn all the rules of music, but you can't play anything or make a song or play a song, then that's a big problem. So there's too much focus on grammar, not enough focus on practical usage.
Because one day I was talking with my friend, one friend, and he was saying that he knows all the things of the grammar, but he can't speak. But he's better than me, and because I can speak, I know a little bit about grammatical things. Even I've been studied all the grammatical things, but the reason is I've studied all the things in my 10th class. And now I'm here in the last year of graduation. So those things being forgotten. It's pretty hard to recall, but so that's why I was asking to you that is it right or not?
Well,
Or if someone will say that, can we say that he knows language, or we should say that he doesn't know language? What should we say? If
he knows the rules of language.
Okay.
but that's not the same as knowing language. And again,
Okay.
it's like knowing all the rules of music but not being able to make a song. What's the point of
Okay.
learning the rules of music if you can't make music? What's the point of learning the rules of language if you can't make language? So I would say both of need you need to study grammar more and he needs to study how to use the language more. You know,
Okay.
neither is perfect, neither is a perfect situation, but I would prefer someone who can speak more than just knows the rules.
Okay. Okay. And okay, and another question is, we both, for example, one is the person who can speak, and second one is who is studying. For example, I am a student of literature, and there is one other person who is able to speak language. So what should be different between me and that person? Because we both are able to speak. So we what should be difference, or what should be different between me and he? Because I'm studying language as my major. So
Hmm.
what should be different?
So wait, can you tell me what's the other person again in this situation?
There is another one who can speak, but he's not studying language as his major. And I'm the person I can speak too, but I'm studying the language. So what should be different? How will you find any specific quality within me, even I'm studying the language as my major?
Well, I mean, Sana, learning isn't a competition.
Okay, yeah, I
Learning is
know.
not a competition. So I feel like you're trying to compare yourself to a lot of people, and
No, no, no. I'm not comparing. For example, if someone will ask that, we both are able to speak. So what is the difference between me and he? Because he can speak, I can speak too. So why should I study language as my literature? Is it
well,
for my internal
you
happiness or something like you can say the quality?
you should study if you want to improve. Period.
Okay. Okay.
That's really what it comes down to. If you don't think you need to improve, then don't study. But for me, everything that I learn in life, I want to improve. And so I'm always self studying. Okay. And that's the other thing you
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
to remember is that education has nothing to do with school. Education has to do with your ability to learn and grow. Education is
Okay.
not about going to school. Education is about growing by knowledge, right? Growing through knowledge. And the more you
Okay.
learn, the more you grow. So, whether you're in school or not in school, you should want to improve whatever it is that you're learning. Okay.
Okay, and yeah, and the last question, second last question would be, um, as you said in the outset of our, you can say, communication, that if we don't know the grammar, but we are able to speak, so it's fine. It's nothing bad. So, what is the importance of a grammatical thing if it's not helpful or it's not better than speaking? So, what would be important of that? Please clear it.
It's not that it's not important,
Okay.
it's that grammar is just a part of language. Grammar is
Okay.
like grammar is like the rules of driving. You can drive without knowing the rules of driving, but if you know the rules of driving, you'll drive better and more safely, right? So, grammar can help you understand how to use the language better. Grammar can help you understand how to express yourself maybe better. But I just always caution people because I want them to understand that the purpose of language should be practical usage. Your ability to speak is the most important thing to me. but grammar can help you to learn how to speak better. Okay? So,
Yeah, I think it's impossible to speaking a language without showing grammatical thing. Because if we, for example, if someone knows, so you can say the you can classify that this one will come under this, but without the grammar, we can't speak anything. And the person who is speaking, I think he knows grammatical things, and he's knowing, because how can it be possible that without knowing any grammatical things we can speak? No, it's not.
well, there are people who can speak without grammar. There are lots of people who speak without knowing much grammar at all. They don't know the rules implicitly. They know the rules just through practical usage, right? So they couldn't explain it to you, and they can't teach it to you, and no one taught it to them, but they've learned through trial and error, right? So that's the way most Americans learn grammar, right? We learn grammar in school. We learn the rules in school, but that's not how we really remember. We remember because we say something and then we say it incorrectly, and our parents will correct us. So I'll say, let me think. He have 3 friends. He have 3 friends. If I said he have 3 friends, my mother would say, no, no, he has 3 friends. That's how we learn grammar. But that doesn't mean I know the rule. That just means I heard a correction and I learned from correction. Right? So there are lots of people who learn through trial and error and correction, right? Through their environment in some way. That's the way the majority of people around the world learn grammar, through their environment, not through books and study. Okay? If you ask the average American about the rules of grammar, they can't explain them to you. Most of them cannot explain them to you. Not anymore. Because we've forgotten the rules in school. We learned them, but we just don't know them now, and we don't need to know them now. I don't think about grammar at all when I speak.
Okay.
So that's because that's the way it's supposed to be. It's the same thing as when I play music. When I play music, I'm not thinking about the rules of music. You learn the rules so that you can forget the rules. That's what we do. Okay, you learn the rules so you know how to speak well, but then you have to put them away and forget about them and just use the language. Okay, so don't focus on the rules so much, but also understand that I have students who learn musical rules and they learn faster and they understand the music better and they can communicate better. But there are some students who don't know the rules of music and they can play really well, but they can't talk about it or they can't describe it well. So neither is a perfect situation, right? You need to know both. They're balanced. It's like your right hand and left hand. Which one is more important? They're both important. Okay, there's a balance there.
For me, both are important, but as I'm a habitual of a right hand, so it's, I think, good for me.
Okay, well, if you can think of it that way. If you're right-handed, then that's your more important hand, but that doesn't mean your left hand is not important.
No, it doesn't mean that my left hand is important too, because the main reason is I'm habitual of right hand, so that's why my right hand is better and it's appearing the more important. But left hand has also some words.
What does your right hand mean? It means that's the hand that you use for most practical things, right? So that's what you write with. That's what you grab things with. So it's similar in that way. Okay, grammar is your left hand. Right hand is practical usage. Okay, they're both important, but yes, I would say your right hand is slightly more important in that regard. But you should, life would be harder without the left hand.
Of course, it would be harder.
Yeah. Okay, Sana. So those are good questions. But again, don't focus too much on comparing yourself to others or anything. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses. And, those are personal. It's not a competition. It should be a
Of course, but
collaboration.
yeah, it's about that whenever I meet with that boy, he start you can say start saying that he knows all the things of grammar, but he can't speak and in or you can say the native languages. And that he studies as English as in his native language. For example, if you ask the what is pronounced, he will speak in his native language instead of in English.
Mm.
So he does this kind of the things. So that's why I was asking there who is you can say who will be better means who is more important
Well,
as because of I'm studying literature. So what should be my importance means what should be my significant among societies? If someone will ask that you are studying literature, so what is your you can say how can we find you? What kind of ability you have? You can speak language, he can speak language, so it doesn't important. What is important of literature is you're studying literature in your life. So that's why I was asking this kind of the questions.
whatever, everyone needs to understand what their weakness is and focus on that weakness. So, but it's not a
Yeah.
comparative thing. So your weakness doesn't make you better or worse than somebody else. It's just your weakness. Okay. Now, ultimately, I just think in general, the focus on any language should be always on practical usage. And this is important because the majority of classes or the majority of ways that language is taught in the world, they focus on grammar too much. They focus on grammar too much. And there are lots of people who study in those classes and they focus on the grammar, but they cannot use the language. And that's why I tell people, Sana, that in my opinion, the best book that you can get to start learning a language is a travel phrase book. So if you want to learn
Yeah, yeah.
English, get a travel English phrase book and start with that. Why? Because travel phrase books are designed to teach you practical usage of the language quickly without focusing too much on grammar. They're focused on just thinking like, well, you're going to Germany for 2 weeks, so let's learn German a little bit. That's all they're trying to do. And that's the best way to start. After you study that book, then you can study some rules and start getting more serious into the language. But there is too much focus on grammar and not enough focus on just practical usage. Okay?
Okay, and my last question would be: I wanna you can say that I wanna buy the book who has all completely 25,000 phrases and idioms within it. So can say suggest me any kind of a book who has complete phrases and idioms because I'm very you can say curious and fond of learning phrases and idioms, and I want to use them as for feeling that I'm a literature student really. So what would be a book or for your site?
One moment. Let me see. I have some books here that you can look for. One moment. Okay. Let's see. There's a book called NTC's American Dictionary of Idioms. If you want one book that has it's like a dictionary of idioms, then you can get that book. Now, I don't think this book is the best book in my opinion, because I don't think you should learn idioms through a dictionary type way. You should learn idioms through practical usage. Again, like you should learn the idioms that are most valuable to you in life, not just every idiom that's ever been created. There are many idioms in this book that I have never heard of or ever used before in my life. So this is the biggest book with a lot of idioms in it, but it's not, in my opinion, the best book. Okay. So again, it's called
Okay.
NTC's American Idioms Dictionary.
Okay, please let me
NTC.
come back. Because,
Yeah, let me write it for you here.
okay, okay. Thank for your anticipation, B.
Okay, so I have a lot of idioms books, but this is not my favorite one. So that should be an apostrophe, not a backslash. NTC's American Idioms Dictionary. I have lots of books
Okay,
about
okay.
idioms, but this is not my favorite one because I really do feel this is not the best way to learn idioms. This is like a dictionary of idioms. So, for
Okay,
example,
no,
looking
I
at
want.
this book,
Okay.
here's one that I've never heard of before. All Around Robin Hood's Barn. I have never in my life heard that idiom before. I have no idea what it means. It's kind of
What?
weird. Here's another one. Beer and Skittles. Never heard that before either. Never ever heard
I
that
think
before.
it's a kind of British idiom because
They could be British. They could
I
be
think,
British, but
yeah, yeah.
this book says American idioms. So I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there are a bunch. The majority of these are ones I've heard or used before, but there are definitely a bunch in here that I've never heard before. They could be out of fashion, not used anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah. So anyway, but that's one book that you could get. But there are also many websites that are good for learning idioms. Okay.
okay. No, yeah, I will try because one day I was searching how many idioms are there in English. So I've got 25,000 of idioms and phrases. So I just decided that I will learn all. I will try to learn all complete 25,000 idioms and phrases. But I will
No,
start slowly,
Sana, that's
slowly.
not useful. That's not useful. No,
No,
don't do it
because
that
you know
way.
that.
Don't do it
Of
that way.
course.
Nobody knows all those idioms. You need to learn idioms based on practicality, and that's it. Idioms are only
Okay.
useful if they're practical, okay? And there
Okay.
are millions of them that are not practical. Just there are too many that are not practical. So you should study idioms based on how useful they are to you. Okay, beer and Skittles is an idiom apparently, but I've never heard it before in my life, so I wouldn't recommend learning it. Nobody's
Okay.
going to know it. If I don't know it, I bet you my parents don't know it either. If we all don't know it, then that means if you use it, nobody's going to know what you're talking about. Idioms are only
Okay.
useful if they actually have some popularity for people to know what they mean. Okay?
Okay.
So don't just learn random idioms. Again, I feel like you're learning based on a competitive type of view, not just a standard of
No,
using it.
no,
Okay.
because I'm learning, or I want to learn all the complete 25,000 because I want to make my, you can say, mind feel as I born in an English
Okay,
kind
but
of field.
Sana,
I'm a native
Sana,
of that.
there is not one American who knows 25,000 idioms.
Okay.
Not one. I guarantee it.
Okay.
There are the English professors with a PhD don't know 25,000 idioms. So that's not a
Okay.
good
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
That's not a good goal. It would be much
Okay.
better,
That's fair enough.
much better if you learned 500 useful idioms. Learn
Yeah, I
500
know.
useful idioms. That's it. That's all you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
I don't think I probably know more than 500 useful idioms. Okay?
Okay.
So don't forget about 25,000. That's a silly goal. Don't have that goal. Okay?
No, yeah, okay, I will stop. And I have two important questions. The first one is
Okay, no,
I have,
Sana. I have to help some other people here today. I have to help some
just
other
for
people here
last
today,
one.
okay?
Okay, just for laughing, please. It's a very important for me.
Okay, one more. That's it.
Only last one. It's a pretty simple question. I have to get admission in a kind of a USA college for my PhD or forward study. So what should be my, you can say, eligibility criteria, and so what should be my first step?
For getting a PhD in English?
Yeah, in USA kind of college. If for in Harvard University, or you can say another one college.
Uh, your first step should be just improving your language, period. Don't think about trying to get into Harvard. Just try to improve your language, Sonnet.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
They're not going to be impressed by 25,000 idioms. They're going to be impressed if you know how to use the language well to express yourself
Okay.
well. Okay?
Okay.
So, focus on personal improvement of your language. Stop creating these unreasonable goals for yourself, like 25,000 idioms and trying to get into Harvard to get a PhD. Sana,
Okay.
life is about learning to improve yourself. Okay? Life is about
Okay.
learning to improve yourself. So focus on learning the language so that you can express yourself better, so that you can learn more, so that you can read more and grow more. That's your goal. Okay?
Okay.
All right, Sana, thank you for coming again. It's always interesting to talk to you. You always have a lot of good questions, but education is not a competition. Just remember that.
Yeah, I know.
Education
I
is
do.
not a
I know.
competition, okay?
I know. I know.
All right. Well, I'll see you next time then, Sana, okay? Good luck to you. And,
Okay, and
you know,
thank for your teaching. That I've learned a lot of things.
okay,
That I
you're
will
welcome,
try
my
to
friend.
do practical in my life. Okay,
Good
that's
luck
it.
to you. Take
Thank you.
care.
I hope we will catch up later.
Okay, take care, my friend. All right. Sana he's a very, very intense guy, and he definitely has a very, he's got a passion for learning English, but I just think his focus is just a little bit off, you know. You need to focus on practical things, everybody. 25,000 idioms is not practical, not in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Let me answer some questions I see in the chat here. I hope I didn't miss anybody here. What does manifest mean? To manifest, well, it can be a verb or a noun. As a verb, it means to make something happen or make something appear. Okay, so to manifest strength means to give yourself or have strength to do something. But there's also something called a manifest as a noun. Like a ship's manifest means the list of every person or everything that is on this ship, right? Like an inventory list, okay? So to manifest means to make something happen or make something appear. And a manifest means a list or inventory list of something, okay? What does pulled a fast one on me mean? To pull a fast one on me means you tricked me, okay? You tricked me somehow, okay? You want to ask me about working supervisor in UK. Well, Nasser, I'm from the United States, so I don't know anything about working in the UK. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. Let's see. What about the air quality in USA? Well, where I live, the air quality is pretty good most of the time. It's pretty. I never worry about the air quality in my city. I live in the middle of the United States in Cincinnati, Ohio, and nearly every day the air quality is quite good. You know, I used to live in Taiwan, and there were some days in my city in Taiwan, in Taichung, that the air quality was terrible. I didn't know about bad air quality until I lived there. And when I came back here, I did recognize that our air quality is excellent compared to cities like that. Okay. Hello, Melissa. Ikram, how can you improve your speaking? Well, you must speak, Ikram. Okay, so there are 4 steps I give everyone for trying to practice speaking. Okay, number 1 is try to find a native speaker to practice with, either online, like on HelloTalk, or on another social media app, or in person. You know, and if you live in a big city, you know, you're from Morocco. If you live in Casablanca, there are some native speakers who are there, but you must find them and then go talk to them. Okay. Where are they? It's actually not that hard to find them. If you find the food, then you'll find the foreigner. So find the best place that serves a burger in Casablanca, or Marrakesh. Find the best place that serves pizza, and then you'll find an American. I guarantee it. Go there on a Friday or Saturday, and they'll be there. Okay? And then talk to them. So that's step 1, native speaker. Step 2 is non-native speaker. If you can't find a native speaker, then talk to another person like yourself, another Moroccan who wants to speak English. Practice with them. That's good practice. There's no reason why you shouldn't be practicing with other people from your country who are practicing English also, right? There are many of you who refuse to practice with other people from your country because you think, well, it's not as good as practicing with a native. So what? Practice is practice in some form, okay? So you're turning away an opportunity to practice because it's not perfect. But guess what? It's possible that the non-native speaker that you could practice with might speak better than a native speaker. It is possible. Okay? So that's step 2. Step 3 is if you can't find a native speaker or a non-native speaker, find someone who knows nothing and teach them what you know. That's good practice too. That's some of the best practice is teaching. If you can teach someone what you know, then you know it well, okay? And step 4 would be practice by yourself. Speak just to yourself. Talk to the TV. When the TV is on and you're watching something, talk to it. Don't think those thoughts. Say them out loud. Talk to the mirror. Talk to your dog. Just talk. That's the most important thing. Understand? Hello, Albert, Fernando. I'm fine. How are you? Hello, Odie. Good to see you. Hello, Mohammed Sharif. How can you improve your English listening skill, Candy? You need to find good things to listen to and listen to them regularly. Okay, so there are many ways that you can find things online like YouTube or there's a great website that I use called eslfast.com. eslfast.com is a website that has lots and lots of, I think about 2,500 short stories for beginners all the way to about intermediate level, okay? Intermediate advanced maybe. And each of those stories has a native speaker that you can listen to hear how it should be pronounced, okay, and read for phrasing. Okay, and there's great vocabulary there, too, so that's a good way to practice your reading and your listening ability, okay? Okay, please be patient. I'm trying to get to all the questions here. Odie says, my teacher from YouTube said, burn the rules if you want to speak well and confidently. Well, I kind of agree with that, but, again, I compare it to music, where in music we learn the rules just so we can break the rules, right? So you can learn the rules and then ball it up in a ball and throw it away. And don't focus on thinking about the rules anymore. Just use them. Create music. Right? Language is like music. You should be trying to make music and make your language sound musical, which just means to sound good to the ears. Okay? Hello, Teacher Poyen. Is that Nima? Is pronunciation more important than grammar? You can't compare these things. You can't compare these things. Pronunciation is important. Grammar is important. Vocabulary is important. Listening is important. Reading is important. These are like the organs in your body and the limbs that you have. Okay, so your limbs are reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Okay, and then grammar is like your heart, and your lungs are like pronunciation. So they're all kind of important. Hello, George. Good to see you. How are you today? Always nice to see another native here. Hello, Sidra. Hello, Arzu. Hello, old boy. Good to see you. Privyet. If you could learn 25,000 idioms, that's an automatic PhD. I would agree. Like, there is not one native speaker in this world who knows 25,000 idioms. Even the guy who wrote that book doesn't know all those idioms. If you ask him, I'm sure he doesn't know them. There's just no way. That's an excessive amount of knowledge without practical usage. I'm okay, Teacher Poyan. How are you? And Hossein says, if you don't get your IELTS or TOEFL, then you're more likely to get rejected. I would agree with that. Yeah, so focus on trying to pass the IELTS and the TOEFL, or the TOEFL, for you to try to get into a university like that. Yeah. Hello, Ren. Good to see you. Old boy says, I practice English not only with native speakers, but with everyone who speaks English. That's the way to do it. Hello, Reina. Hello, Layla and Reza. Hello, Esas. Hello, Hane. It has been a long time. What could be a better source of learning sentence structures? Well, I think sentence structures are usually best learned just through reading, right? If you read enough, you'll see more and more sentence structures being used. Read books, read, fiction and nonfiction, read articles, read journal articles and academic articles. Each one of these is going to use English in a different way, and you'll see different sentence structures being used, okay? So I think reading is honestly one of the best ways to learn sentence structures. Okay? It is Nima. Hello, Nima. Hello, Lucy and Lily. Thank you, George. Thank you very much. You're wondering where the freedom of American people comes from, that they're not afraid to talk about anything? Well, that comes from our Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Freedom of speech is the first one. So that's why, because we're taught as a nation that the freedom to be able to speak about your feelings and the way you feel about the world, that's one of the most important things. You can't create a good community without discussion. And so we encourage people to speak freely about how they feel so that we can discuss it. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody has something good to say, and that doesn't mean that everybody is right. But we do encourage everybody to speak so that we can discuss it and find common ground and find a better place for a direction to go in. Okay? Do I have to memorize all the verbs that come before gerunds and infinitives? Roro, you don't have to memorize anything. I don't recommend memorization as a teaching method or learning method at all. Okay, memorizing is the worst way to learn. Find practical ways to practice. Okay, creative ways to practice. Creativity is the secret to good learning. Okay, so memorizing is only going to teach it to you for a short time. So it will go in this year and it will come out that year eventually. But if you learn creatively, your brain likes creative, okay? If you learn creative things, then your brain will remember, okay? So find creative ways to use the verbs and gerunds that you're trying to learn, okay? Let's see. That's right. Freedom of speech, freedom of the press. That's right, George. How can you practice your listening? Just listen repeatedly and widely? Well, yeah, but sunshine. But listening, it's learning a language for listening is like learning a musical instrument. When you learn the piano, they don't tell you that you should listen to everybody in the world who plays piano. Your next door neighbor might play piano, but not well. So you shouldn't really listen to them as a model. So who do they tell you to listen to? They tell you to listen to the people who play the piano the best. That's who you should listen to. So you should do the same thing with language. Don't just listen to anyone who speaks. Anyone can speak. That doesn't mean that their words are worth hearing. Okay? So find people who speak well and focus on listening to them. Find someone who speaks clearly so that you can understand them, and find someone who expresses themselves well using the language. Okay? Don't just listen to anyone. Not everybody speaks well. Okay? Okay. George is a black belt. Wow, okay. Is it terrible to hear people speaking English in the wrong structure? I wouldn't say it's terrible. It's not necessarily great, but please just remember, everybody, the point of language is to communicate. The point of language is not perfection. So if I say, Dom, if I say, I want go store, you know what I mean, even if it's not correct grammar. If I say store, I want go, you know what I mean, even if it's not correct grammar. If I say, I want store go, you know what I mean, even though it's not correct grammar. I'm able to communicate with you without perfect grammar. So the goal of language is communication, not perfection. Now, you can polish it. After you communicate, somebody might correct you and say, well, you should say, I want to go to the store. But the point is that they were able to express their need to you and you understood. Okay? So remember that the point of language is communication, not perfection. Okay? Which sites do I recommend for academic articles? I would say Google Scholar. Google Scholar, Arzu. Search for Google Scholar and you should find plenty of academic articles. Is there any difference between tamper with and manipulate? Yes. To tamper with something means to change something, usually in some sort of negative way, right? To tamper with something means to manipulate something in a negative way. Manipulate just means well, it can actually have a few different meanings. There's physical manipulation and there is emotional manipulation. There is verbal manipulation. So manipulation means to use your words or thoughts to try to change someone or something to do what you want them to do, right? So manipulation means to adjust something toward your purpose, okay? And now, but it could be, there are ways to use the word manipulate in a neutral or positive way, okay? So in most cases, manipulate is a negative thing. It infers a negative usage of the word. So you're using it to manipulate someone means to try to change them in some way to get them to do what you want them to do, right? So maybe you're using your words to manipulate them, or you're using your power to manipulate them, okay? But to manipulate, for example, I'm manipulating my microphone right now. That's a neutral form of the word, okay? So in most cases, the word means to change something towards your purposes. But there is a general term that it just means to change in some way, okay? Hello, Juan Jose. I always understand a word just before I should think about it for a second. I can't react to it instantly. Sunshine, that means that you're not using your English mind enough. Okay? You're not using your English mind enough. You need to think in English every day. The more you think in English, the less you'll need to think about your words when you speak. Okay? Language begins in the mind. Okay? If you have weak mental language, then you will have weak speaking and writing and reading and listening. So you have to make your language strong in your mind first. It's the most important thing. Okay? And yes, Google Scholar is what I would say for academic reading. If you go to Google Scholar and just type in a search for whatever topic you're talking about, whatever topic you're interested in Google Scholar, there will be many academic articles that come up. Okay? Yeah, Ali, that's the way we are in this country. You're free to say anything you want about whatever political figure there is. Our political figures are not kings, they're just people. Okay? So they're no better than me, no worse than me. Well, maybe they're worse than me. But the point is that, yeah, we believe that our political leaders can only be good if we're able to speak about them freely, if we're able to criticize them. That doesn't mean we don't love our country. As a matter of fact, our ability to criticize our own country is what makes it great, because our ability to criticize is what allows us to change and make it better. If we were never able to criticize it, then we couldn't change it to make it better. Okay? Yeah, Nima, give me one more second to try to catch up with these answers here, and questions here, I should say. Yeah, there we go. George is saying it better than I did. Tamper with implies an unauthorized or harmful interference, while manipulate can infer to skillfully handling or deceitfully controlling something. Yeah, and again, in most cases, manipulate is used in a negative sense. However, manipulate also comes from the word, well, let me show you. If I look up the etymology of the word manipulate, let's see. It comes from the French word manipule, meaning a handful, or from the Latin word manipulus, meaning a handful or sheaf or bundle, which comes from the word manus, meaning hand. So again, the word manipulate originally just meant to use your hands to move or change something. Okay, so it does have a neutral connotation as well as a negative one, okay? In most cases, in modern English, it usually is used in a negative sense, but the original meaning comes from the word that just means to use your hands to move something, okay? Thank you, Athena. Is there any difference between scent or smell, or are they synonyms? Scent and smell can be synonyms. I like that scent, I like that smell. But smell can also be a verb. To smell is this, but a scent is just a noun, okay? Let us know how to improve your writing if you don't have anyone to correct you. Use ChatGPT. Use AI. AI is a wonderful tool for helping you to correct your grammar. It's a new tool that we have never had before, and it's not perfect, but it is pretty amazing, especially for things like grammar. So absolutely use ChatGPT or another AI model to type your English practice, whatever you're writing into there, and it will correct you. You can tell it, please correct me and tell me what I did wrong, and it will, okay? Sometimes I'm just afraid that speaking the wrong way makes me awkward. Okay, but Dom, If you're afraid to speak because you only want to speak perfectly, then you won't speak at all. And that means you won't practice much, which means you won't improve. So I absolutely think you should speak and make mistakes boldly. If you make mistakes boldly, then you'll learn from them boldly. But if you're afraid to speak because you only want to speak perfectly, you're not going to make enough progress. Okay? So mistakes are good, not bad. Okay? All right, I'm almost finished catching up here. Can I recommend a website for IELTS general reading? One moment. Well, there are a bunch. If I typed in IELTS reading practice, and there are dozens of sites that come up with IELTS reading practice and preparation and tests, practice tests. So here's a good one here, the Critical Reader. Yeah, here's a good one. If you're practicing IELTS reading, this is a good website here for you. Okay? All right, let's see. IPEX says, I want to find a partner for improving my English skills, but I can't because I'm a woman and men just want to find friends as a boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, IPEC, you can, but finding a partner for practicing language is like fishing. It takes practice and patience and time, okay? And yeah, there are lots of guys on Hello Talk who are there for the wrong purpose. They don't understand that the major purpose of learning or of using the app is for learning, not for flirting. All right? You know, the world is a lonely place and guys are guys. All right? But if a guy starts flirting with you, just start asking them grammar questions, and within 10 minutes, they will get tired of you and stop talking to you. Just ask them a different grammar question every single time they try to flirt with you, and they will stop eventually because they'll just get tired of it, okay? And if they're not tired of it, then you'll find a good partner, okay? But let me explain something about Hello Talk. Hello Talk is not an app to find a free teacher. It's not. Okay, so most people on Hello Talk, the biggest mistake they make in using this app is they don't know how to talk to someone. They don't know how to introduce themselves properly to find a proper partner. So let me tell you what I see every day. I get messages every day from at least a dozen or more people who just wave to me. They just do this. Well, guess what? I'm not going to talk to you if you just do that. If you just send me a wave, I'm not going to respond to you. That's not a way to introduce yourself to someone. Okay? And two, the second mistake they make is they say, hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. Will you please teach me English? No, I will not. I don't know you, one. And two, why do you think there are just people waiting to teach you English? They're just sitting around waiting to teach you English. There are no people like that. Okay? If you want someone who is waiting to teach you English, they're called teachers, and you must pay for them, like me. Okay? I have private lessons. Buy a private lesson. That's a teacher who will wait there for you to help you with all your questions for money. Okay? It's a job. But there are people who will help you with your English. They're called friends. Friends will help you with your English. But To get a friend, you must make a friend. To make a friend, you must earn a friend. You can't just say, "Hi, will you teach me English?" No. Say, "Hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. Nice to meet you. I'm from blah, blah, blah. I read your profile and I see that you like cooking. I like cooking too. Can you give me a good recipe from your culture to try?" That is a response that's an introduction that will get you responses. Say, "Hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm from blah, blah, blah. Nice to meet you. I read your profile. I see that you like movies. I like movies too. Can you tell me your favorite movie that I should see?" That is an introduction that will get you responses. Okay? "Hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm from blah, blah, blah. Nice to meet you. I read your profile. I read your profile. I read your profile. I read your profile." Read their profile. And if they don't have anything on their profile, then guess what? Don't talk to them. So if you don't have something on your profile, go put something on your profile. Who are you? Who are you? The world is not a place where you need to hide your identity as much as they say you do, okay? If you read my profile, it tells you who I am. And people will talk to me because now they can read my profile. But if you have nothing on your profile, what are you doing here? You're lazy and weird. Put a picture on and put a profile up. Stop being lazy. And then you need to understand that if you want someone to help you on Hello Talk, you must make a friend first. That takes time. They're not going to just start teaching you English tomorrow because you asked them to. Okay? That is the best advice that I can give you about using Hello Talk. Talk to many people, introduce yourself properly, ask a question about something about their interests. Or better yet, even better, is instead of asking them for help with English, why don't you offer them help with your language? Say, "Hello, my name is İpek. Nice to meet you. I'm from Turkey. If you want to know anything about Turkish language or Turkish culture, I would be happy to help you." Now you're offering someone something. You're not asking for something. Okay? So, 95% of the people who use Hello Talk don't find this app to be very good, but it's not the fault of the app. There's nothing wrong with the app. The problem is that you are lazy and don't know how to introduce yourself first. You're desperate and lazy for help, and you're not willing to work for it. Okay? That's the hard truth. You'll get a lot more help if you just start learning how to make a proper introduction. Okay? All right, I'm sorry that took a little bit long to explain, but it's true. All right. I still want to talk to somebody on the stage here. I just want to try to catch up with these last few questions, and then I'll get somebody on the stage. Nima, if you're still there, let's talk. We haven't talked in a while. Let's see. Zulhan says, "How to improve your listening, because I often miss communication at my office with foreigners, but I can speak normally." Okay, so when you're talking at work using English, if you're using video calls or audio calls, ask your client, ask your customer if it's okay if you can record the calls. That way you can practice listening to that person. You're not listening to somebody, you're listening to the people who you work with, the people who you need to understand. if you record those calls, you'll get better and better with listening to their voice. Okay? So that's what you should do. Old boy says, all I do here is sit and wait for somebody for me to teach them Russian. Well, good for you, old boy, but there are not many people like that. Thank you, Athena. You're so nice. Thank you. Nice day. Am I upset? No, I'm not upset. I just am passionate. I'm passionate. When I teach about some things, I teach with passion and fire. And sometimes that looks like I'm mad. I'm not mad. I just am frustrated that some people think that learning should come so easily. Learning comes to the people who are willing to work for it. That's why we respect smart people. We respect people with lots of knowledge because we know it's not easy to get that knowledge. So when you act like it should be easy, that's a little frustrating. Okay? You have to be willing to earn it. Okay? Hello, Lawrence. My hobbies. I like fishing. I like hiking. I like cooking. I like camping. Ali says, I messaged someone to teach him my native language, but I ended up teaching and I want to practice and learn as well. Okay, well, then eventually you have to tell that person, hey, I've been teaching you for a while. It would be great if you could teach me something too. You know, let's make this balanced, okay? All right, Nima, I think I'm about ready to, let's see. How can you improve your happiness? Well, that's a tough one. USA Cats. Happiness is not a permanent state. Think about it like this. If you climb a mountain to see the beautiful view, that's great. But that view will look even more beautiful if you've been to the lowest valley also. Right? So when you go to the lowest place, it makes the highest place seem that much better. So when you have low moments in life, understand that those are part of life. And if you get through them, when you have good moments, it makes those good moments even better. Okay? All right. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, Rebecca says, how to improve small talk skills in work, especially with your boss. Rebecca, there are lots of good websites online. If you just search in Google, you know, just search for, well, let me help you. Hold on. All right, the ultimate guide to small talk. That sounds like it should be good. There you go. It looks like a good site. 101 tips, I think, something like that. Okay, looks good. So check that out. All right. Okay, so now I'm finished with all my questions here. Hello, Erica. Good morning to you. Thank you very much, Erica. You're so nice. All right. Let's see. Nima. Let's talk to Nima. I haven't seen Nima in ages. Nima is my teacher friend from Iran.
Hello,
Hello,
teacher.
Nima. How are you, my friend? Thank you for being patient and waiting for me to stop yelling.
I'm good. That's really great. That's really kind of you to invite me on this stage. I'm so glad to be with you on this stage after a long time.
Yeah, it's good to see you
And
again.
I'm not really on Hello Talk these days much because I'm pretty much busy with my teaching processes at school, both at school and in my own institute. So, how's it going? I
It's
haven't seen you for a long time.
it's going okay. It's going okay. Again, life is up and down, and that's just the nature of life. For example, everybody, just so you understand what I'm talking about, this example that I said just a few minutes ago about the high mountain and the low valley. Yesterday, I found out that a friend of mine passed away, and it's a very sad thing. When your friend dies, it's a very sad thing to accept. But
Sorry to hear
but
that.
thank you. But it also makes you reconsider life, and it makes you understand the value of life, and it makes you understand the preciousness of time with people you care about. So
Mhm.
it's a hard lesson to learn. But when you lose someone in your life who's important in your life, it makes you appreciate the other people around you more, right? So that's the nature of
Mhm.
bad feelings. Bad feelings can actually have the other it's two sides of the same coin, right? So happiness is here and sadness is here, and you can't have one without the other. Really, there is nobody on this planet who is permanently happy all the time. I mean, even the Dalai Lama, I'm sure he gets sad occasionally. It's just the nature of life.
Mhm.
You have to accept that sadness is a part of life. Don't try to avoid it, just try to get through it. But if you know that it's just a temporary state, then that helps, right? And again, when bad things happen, you have to figure out how you can view them in such a way to turn them into something good. So I'm sorry that I lost my friend, and I've been thinking about him a lot recently, since I found out.
Mhm.
And also in Taiwan, there was a huge earthquake yesterday, 7.4 earthquake. And of course, I was very concerned about all my friends in Taiwan. And it's a terrible thing when an earthquake happens, and there were about 9 people got killed, I guess, which is terrible. But I'm also happy to know that all my friends are safe and they're okay. And, it's good to check on people to know that they're okay, to contact them and say, hey, are you okay? And they say, yes, we're fine. Thank you for checking on me. So again, there is no world where happiness is the permanent state. You have to accept that
That's great.
the
I'm
good and the
so
bad
here.
come together.
I'm so sorry for hearing that. So, you know, sometimes really the life doesn't go in the same way that we like. The same thing that happened in my life, and I missed my beloved ones, especially my dad, for about 10 years ago. So it was really a very kind of impressing point in my life that it really made my view that something really, sometimes something painful may occur in your life that it really makes you much more kind of
You
uh,
appreciate things
that
more.
definitely changes your perspective
Yeah.
in your life, and it helps you to have another attitude that sometimes you do not really care about those people who are your beloved ones, and those missings really is a kind of hint
Yeah.
and cautions that tells us that you must be
Life is
more aware
short.
of
That's
those
right.
who are around you and try to love them the best way.
That's right. Yeah. Life is short. You have to appreciate, what you have while it's here and stop trying to worry about the silly things in life, I talked to another friend of mine in Taiwan last night, and he was upset about something, and I tried to tell him, hey, look, man, you could turn this into a negative thing and get angry at this person, or you could try to find a positive way to turn this into something, positive and good for you and them, rather than always turning everything into an angry moment, you know. So that's what I am trying to do more of in my life, and it's hard. It's hard to do, It's our natural sense to want to react to things sometimes negatively, but it's negative emotions have a negative effect on not only you, but people around you. So you have to learn how to cultivate happiness, like a plant. Happiness happens when you treat happiness like a plant. It needs sunlight. It needs water. It needs proper soil to grow. If you don't give happiness the proper conditions, it's not going to happen. And sadness and negativity is a similar thing where it's going to happen, but you shouldn't cultivate it. If you don't cultivate your negative emotions, don't give them the proper environment for them to survive well, right? If you cultivate happiness, then you'll have less sadness to worry about. Not that it won't happen, it will happen. But it won't feel comfortable to stay. You got to give happiness the right environment to want it to stay around.
Definitely, that's right. In the same way that we make our own future by something that we do right now, we are going to create everything around us, including the happiness and sadness. So those are the things that we create by our own decisions, but by our own behavior, by the way of our thoughts and the way we think about our life and how to create everything around. That exactly are the productions of our thoughts, both happiness and sadness in our lives in the same.
Right. Yeah.
So you seem to be so impressed by losing your friend, and I think everybody is becoming to feel so sad on the.
It's he was one of the first musicians that I ever played with in a band. When I was 17 years old, I was in my first band with him, and I worked with him throughout my career, and he was one of the best keyboardists I've ever played with, and he was such a unique character. He had bad parts to him, but there's only one him. I can't think of anybody that I know that was anything like him ever. And I know he made a big impression on many people. You know what? Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me see. Can you guys, I don't know if you can hear this or not. Let's see if you can hear this. Tell me if you can hear some music here or not. If you sometimes it doesn't work right to hear what I've got on my computer, but let's see what happens if I try to play this. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This is him. This is him. Let's listen to a song from my friend Eddie, who passed away. Beautiful song. It's him singing and playing piano.
In the morning I'll be back in the light of another day, trying not to think about you, but you always find your way into my world. And if I don't tell you now, I might wait too long. So I hope I know the right words. I'm just a lonely man. I hope you understand. Would you wanna take my hand and baby come with me? Very little that you have to give I don't already have. Altogether it's not that bad. I believe if you could read my mind you'd think that I'm a fool, but I think you're unbelievable, and I've waited so long to find someone just like you. Something secret to reveal. It's hurting so I've got to tell you how I feel. Won't you come with me? Move too fast, move too slow, way too long, and watch it blow away. You make me wanna work to be the man that I'm supposed to be. I'm lonely and I hope that we can find some place to go. In the morning you'll be back in the light of another day. These words are so hard to say, but if I don't tell you now. That was awesome. Just my own overture. Was that alright?
Hell yeah, it was alright.
Really talented guy.
And the whole time you were in tears, and that was really heart touching to me. It was really great song, so sad, and that was a so sad moment for everyone.
It's hard to hear him. Oh, Nima, I'm sorry we lost you there. Sorry, everybody. It's a little hard to hear him. That's all. Just give me a minute, please. That song was from my friend Eddie, who passed away. I didn't expect to cry, but it was really hard to hear him. No, he's gone now. Very talented guy. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a good song. And yeah, sometimes we do need to cry. It's okay. And I didn't cry yesterday when I found out about it, but hearing that song and just listening to him, and he recorded that in my studio many years ago. All right. Well, let me just try to take a breath and life is short. Life is short, everybody. You have to appreciate what you have while you have it. So, Martin, I'm crying just because I was listening to that song, and that song is from a friend of mine who passed away. I found out he died yesterday. So, just wanted to share that with you guys. He was in the first band I ever played in when I was 17. So, sorry, everybody. Just trying to. Thank you, Leonardo. I'm a teacher, but I'm a musician first. The way I think of myself is, you know, I think of myself as a drummer. And so musicians are sensitive people. You can't be a musician and not be sensitive, because music is about expressing yourself. So I think he would be happy that I shared that song with the world. You know, he was just a brilliant musician. Very talented. Very, very talented. So, I'm okay. Oh. Anyway, thank you for letting me share that with you. If you're just joining in and showing up and you just see this guy crying, it's because I lost a friend of mine. A friend of mine passed away, and I was just listening to his song, and I just couldn't listen to it without crying. It just brought back too many memories. And it just, you know, it's just like why I told you, just remember, life is short. Cherish what you have. Cherish what you have. And whatever negative things that you're trying to focus on now, you know, find a way to turn it into a positive. Okay? That's the message I have for you today. If you're angry at somebody for doing something wrong to you, you can hold on to that anger, or you can try to find a way to let it go and turn it into a positive thing. Life is too short. Life is too short. Okay. Thank you for letting me share that with you. Thank you for letting me have a moment to be emotional. I didn't expect to cry, but I'm not going to hold it back. That's right. Turn negativity into positivity. Yeah. Okay? All right. Thank you very much, Eugene Marie. Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to just be a little bit emotional today. I'm okay. I'll be okay. We weren't even that close, you know, as friends. We didn't spend a lot of time together, but the time we spent together as musicians was really important to me. And he was just a special guy. Unique. Very unique. Okay. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Zainab. I'm okay. I'm okay. It was just really a lot of memories coming back when I hear that song. I'm not sure how he died yet. From what I heard, it might have been a heart attack. And he was only just a few years older than me. Just a few years older than me. Okay. All right, guys. Why? I can see you're writing a lot of deep stuff here in the chat, and that's great, but maybe you should pay attention to what's going on here. Okay? Why? Stop. This isn't about you. Okay? Just stop. Okay? You came to the wrong place at the wrong time to make these kinds of comments. Okay? So please just stop. Okay? My audience is not your audience. My audience is my audience. Okay? All right. Hello, Happy. Good to see you. No, he wasn't obese. No, he was in good shape from what I could tell. He was in good shape. Yeah. Yeah, no, again, everybody, look, I had to cry for a minute because it was very emotional for me to hear him, especially at the end when I heard his voice. But I think he'd be happy that I was able to share that song with the world. So maybe I'll see if I can post that later on my YouTube or on my Hello Talk. I'll see if I can post that, and you guys can share it with the rest of the world. That would make him happy, I think. Okay? Yeah, of course, you need time. You need time. I'm okay. Again, I'm a musician before I'm a teacher, and musicians are emotional people. It's the nature of being an artist. You can't be an artist and not be in touch with your emotions, and we don't hold those back. So it's important. Yeah, writers too, right? Every kind of artist. You cannot be an artist and not be emotional. So it's just part of when we play music, we're not faking the feelings that we're trying to project on you. Those are feelings we've had. And so you can't play a song about love if you've never been in love. You can't play a song about heartbreak if you've never had heartbreak. You can't play a song about happiness if you've never had happiness. So, anyway. Okay. I'm okay, everybody. I'm okay. Let's get back to talking about some stuff other than that. How about that? All right. Let me talk to some more people here. Let me talk to Athena. Athena will make me feel better.
Hello,
Hello, Athena. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. I'm also a sensitive person, and I think I shouldn't be a teacher. I should be an artist.
Well, being a teacher,
Shouldn't be too sensitive.
no. I think you should. You should. Being a teacher, you must be a sensitive person to be a teacher, because to be a teacher, you have to understand your students. And that means understanding that sometimes they have pain or problems. Yeah. And so I'm a better teacher because I know there are times when my students have come to their lessons and I can tell something is wrong. And I will stop teaching drums or teaching English to talk with them and ask them what's wrong and what happened. And they appreciate me more as a teacher because of that, that I'm not just focused on their their learning, but I'm focused on their
Mental health,
yeah, their feelings. Their feelings.
feelings. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I use the wrong word. It's sensitive is okay. I think it's emotion, emotions. I'm too emotional. I mean when you when my students are um not disciplined, I'll shout at them. I think that's not a good way to let them
There have been times when I've
like.
cried in front of my students, in class. And I think that's not a bad thing because then they see that you're a real person and they see that
I
you
think
care.
crying, yeah, I think crying is okay. Just like yelling at them is not that good. I did
That's
that.
true. Yeah, yelling is not usually good, but even that happens occasionally. I've yelled at my classes or my students a few times. And again, it only happens because I care. You can't be emotionally indifferent. That's not. I don't think you're a good teacher if you're emotionally indifferent. Being a teacher is about helping people grow, and part of growing is not just knowledge, but it's how that knowledge fits within you as a person. And if you see a student and you know that they're having trouble because they're upset, and then you find out that they broke up with their girlfriend or their boyfriend the day before, or they had an argument with their parents, or their grandfather or grandmother passed away or something, that's important to recognize and be able to understand that this is a person who has pain and they're dealing with that. So when you show your students that you have pain and you have things that you deal with, it makes it okay for them to as well. And then you also have to show them that you can get through it. So yeah, I cried, but I'm okay. I'll be okay. I just wanted to allow myself to have that emotional moment, and it was real. It wasn't fake. It was real. I couldn't.
Yeah,
I
I
couldn't
cried
hold it back.
I cried in front of my students too. When I was uh,
Well,
but one thing I haven't overcome yet, because I have I have bad habits, which is easy to get upset and yelling at people. That's it's not good as a teacher.
well, that's true. You do have to have a certain temperament, to be able to not let everything affect you. But nobody's perfect, Athena. Nobody's perfect, and the only thing you can do, Athena, is just continue to do your best to improve. And
Yeah.
if you recognize that you have a problem, then that's the first way to start fixing it. You have to recognize it first. So at least you know. If you know, then you can do something about it. If you don't know, then you can't. And there are people who have problems and don't admit they have problems, and that's a problem. So, I think you're a good teacher. I can tell you're a good teacher. And the reason why is because
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, the most important part about being an artist or a teacher is that you have to be genuine.
Genuine.
Yeah. Teaching is not a job you should do if you don't love teaching. Being an artist is not a job you should do if you don't love being an artist. So you can't fake being a writer. You can't fake being a musician. And you can't fake being a teacher. You know, you have to be a genuine person. So in that way, I think being a teacher is very similar to being an artist, that they both have to be genuine. You know, there are many jobs you can do without being genuine, but teaching and being an artist is one that you cannot, those are jobs you cannot do without being genuine. So in that respect, they're similar. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember some famous man said he spent every day as the last day he had.
That's right. And that's the way musicians are, too. We say that you should play like it's the last time you're ever going to get to play. You know, so we try to give everything we have for that one moment. Every single time we play, we try to remember that what if that's the last time that you get to play, that you get to perform? You know, so you have to give everything you have for that moment. That's how the greatest artists and greatest musicians are.
Yeah.
Happy says, I believe most artists are empaths. I would completely agree with that. You have to be. Yeah, an empath means somebody who understands the emotions of others and is in touch with the emotions of themselves and others. And yeah, you have to be, because again, it's about being genuine. You can't be genuine and not be in touch with your emotions and the emotions of those around you.
I think I would teach better if I could be a better teacher if I take every class as my last class.
There you go. Yeah. Think about it like that. That's a good thing to think about, Athena. Yeah, that's exactly right. Think about it like every class is, you know, the last song you're going to get to ever perform. You know, and give yourself everything that you can. And I'll tell you what, there's another reason why being a teacher is like being an artist, because being a teacher is something that you have to give everything. You know, if I work at a normal job, you know, if I'm doing something, I don't know, working at a factory or something, it's hard work, but it's not emotionally draining. You know, if you're putting together something at a factory, you're just putting it together and you're not really emotionally involved. But when you teach, you're giving your heart, you're giving your passion, you're giving yourself a lot to those people. You know, you're giving a lot. And so 5 hours of straight teaching is much more tiring to me than 8 hours of working in a factory. So, because every time I teach, I'm giving all I have to that person. My entire focus is on them and how I can help them. So in that way, it's very similar. Again, artists, you know, it may look very simple sometimes what they're doing when they play a song, but the great ones, that's the way they're thinking about it. When they play that song, they're trying to play for you as though it's the last time they're going to get to play. Yeah. And yeah, I think it's good for everybody to kind of think about that a little bit more. You know, whatever you're doing, do it like it's the last time you're going to get to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Live every day, yeah, as last day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Because you just don't know. Like I said, he was only just a few years older than me. And from what I understand, I don't think there was any other, you know, it wasn't like this was like a cancer thing that came and there was a long period of time. No, it was just, you know, heart attack. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Life is short. Life is short.
Yeah. Don't know which day we will.
That's right. You don't know. So just keep thinking about, you know, how you can make things better and live for the moment more. Live for the moment, everybody. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Yeah. Yeah, that's a Latin phrase. It's a very good Latin idiom to know. Carpe diem means to seize the day. Carpe means seize and diem means day in Latin. To seize the day means take that day. Don't just let it happen. Seize it. You know, grab it. Do something with it. Sneeze the day. Sneeze all day. Yes, that's right. Happy. Anyway, Athena, I'm going to let you go, but it was really good to see you again. And thank you for coming to try to cheer me up. Seeing your face made me feel better. So thank you. I appreciate that.
And I hope you can.
I'll be okay.
I think, yeah, I don't have to say anything.
I'll be okay. I just, you know, it's good to remember him, you know, and it's good to let those emotions flow and happen the way they did. And, you know, I listened to a little bit of that song yesterday and I sent it to a few friends of mine because I knew they'd want it. But I didn't get a chance to listen to the entire song. I couldn't do it yesterday. And today I thought, well, let me just go ahead. I'm going to play it here for everybody and let the world hear his brilliance. But I couldn't hold back. It was just too hard to hear him.
It's good to let it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be emotional, everybody. You know, I appreciate you guys letting me just, you know, it was what you saw was real. You know, that was just me. I couldn't hear his voice without, you know, letting go.
You're our precious teacher, and we love you. So
thank you.
We accept, everything.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Okay, Athena?
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. Take care. That's right. Tears are the way to wash away your soul. Yeah. And, or wash your soul, I should say, not wash away. Wash your soul. And sometimes there's a saying from Rumi that I also like. What's the saying? Let me find it. He says, tears are prayers too. They travel to God when you can't find the words. And I like that. The idea that tears are like prayers. They're unspoken words. You know, they're words that you can't find the words, but the tears make the words happen for you. So, anyway. All right. Well, trying to not let myself get upset again, but it's hard. All right. Well, thank you guys again for letting me have that emotional moment and letting me share that song with you. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's right, Leonardo. Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I think I'm going to go ahead and end my stream here today, and just take the rest of the day to just, you know, try to remember. So, and I would hope that you guys will, you know, remember what I said. Just life is short, and appreciate what you have while you have it. Try to turn the negative into the positive. And give everything you have for whatever you're doing. Give everything you have If you want to learn English, then give yourself more towards it. Life is too short to do things just a little bit. Do it all. Give yourself to what you're doing. Okay? Don't be lazy. Life is too short for laziness. Life is too short for laziness. So, I'm going to go, but thank you guys for watching and listening and letting me have my moment. I appreciate it. Before I forget, do make sure you follow my YouTube channel, which I didn't even tell you guys about today. Go to my YouTube channel and follow. There are many videos there you can watch where I'm not crying. So you can watch that, or if you want to watch the video from today, watch it again, and you can listen to that beautiful song that I shared today with you guys. So I'm going to take this last moment to say today's stream was dedicated to my friend Eddie, who passed away. And that was his beautiful song. And yeah, life is short, so don't take it for granted. My YouTube channel is right here, Finn. Okay? So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. If you want private lessons, you can click on my profile and find my private lesson packages. Okay? Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it very much. And I will see you guys later. I don't think I'll have a voice room later, but maybe. Who knows? Maybe I'll do one later. We'll see. I definitely will have a voice room tomorrow. Okay? Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Catch you on the flip side, hoser.